When it comes to cooking for our family, we all want to save time. So today I'm sharing some of my favorite sheet pan recipes that'll make cooking easier than ever. From breakfast to dessert, we're gonna cover it all. Let's start off with some breakfast. We're gonna make sheet pan French toast. To a bowl, we're gonna crack 3 eggs. We're gonna beat these. Then we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of 2% milk and a 1/2 cup heavy cream. That's gonna make it really good. We're also going to add 3 tablespoons of melted butter, a tablespoon of brown sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a teaspoon of vanilla. It smells so good. Now, depending on the thickness of your bread, you might have to double this recipe. I'm using Texas toast. Spray down your large baking sheet very well. Pour in your mixture. You're gonna add your bread, and you're going to flip these once we lay them down immediately over. Now this recipe that I gave you with the measurements is for 8 slices of bread, but I can't fit 8 on here like comfortably. But these are big slices of bread, you know, because they're Texas toast, so it's going to absorb all of this. We're just gonna let these soak for a minute. I'm gonna flip them again, have them just soak up all that egg. Make sure your oven is preheated to 375 degrees, then add in your oven for about 15 minutes, and we wanna get them golden brown. Oh yeah. After the 15 minutes, the bottoms should be golden brown, and then when they are, you could flip them and they'll bake for another 10 minutes. You can add berries with powdered sugar and syrup and even some whipped topping. It is crispy on the edges, soft in the middle. It smells insane, and I can't wait to dish this up. Oh yeah, I'm baking it in the oven from now on. Okay, I have a suggestion for you on this French toast. Use almost stale Texas toast, or throw your Texas toast in the freezer and take it out and thaw it like I did, because the crusty edges were so good. Here in Utah, we have a yummy breakfast place called Waffle Love. It reminded me of that. It was so good. Next time, I'm gonna put some Bishkop spread on the top of that. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Next, we're gonna make a breakfast egg and cheese pepper. It is so yummy. And to this recipe, you can add bacon and sausage, anything you like, but I'm gonna show you a basic egg and cheese. It's so good. We're gonna slice our peppers and get out all the seeds and the core and stem out. Okay, put them on a baking sheet. I'm gonna sprinkle these with some salt and pepper. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees, and these are gonna bake for 15 minutes. Oh, they smell so good. All right, when they're done, we're going to crack an egg into each of them. And then sprinkle it again with some salt and pepper on top of each of them. And then you could top it with any of your favorite cheeses. I'm doing a combination of Colby and cheddar. And I think what I'm gonna also do, just to spice things up a bit, is add some pepper jack cheese. I did 4 of them with the pepper jack and the rest with the Colby and cheddar. It's going back in the oven for another 15 minutes. You just wanna make sure that the egg has set up. Now you could top it with some cilantro or parsley. You could even put some pico de gallo on top. This is delicious, you guys. I know you're going to enjoy it. Oh, so fast, so easy, quick sheet pan breakfast. It's time for lunch. The first sheet pan meal I have for you is roasted sweet potatoes, sausage, and broccoli. So while I get things prepped, I preheated the oven to 450 degrees. For this recipe, we're gonna need 2 medium sweet potatoes, and we're gonna peel and cut those into medium-sized cubes. From what I learned from this recipe, don't go too small. They could be about 1 inch across. In a bowl, whisk together the olive oil, the balsamic vinegar, garlic powder, and black pepper. Put the sweet potato cubes into a bowl and toss with half of that oil balsamic mixture. Then just spread your sweet potatoes on a sheet pan and put in the oven and start to roast for 15 minutes. Meanwhile, slice the sausage into slices about 3/4 inches thick. When the sweet potatoes have roasted for 15 minutes, add the sausage pieces to the sheet pan and roast for 10 more minutes. If you're noticing that your sweet potatoes are cooking faster, then just take them out and save them for later at the end. Meanwhile, I'm going to be cutting up the broccoli into same size pieces, about the size of the other ingredients. Then add the broccoli into a bowl and toss with the rest of the oil balsamic mixture. Remove the sheet pan from the oven and turn the sausage pieces over and tuck the broccoli pieces between them. Then put your sheet pan back in the oven and cook for 15 minutes more or until the broccoli is done. Season with a little salt and fresh ground black pepper and serve hot. This was a big hit with the family. It was absolutely delicious. Now we're gonna make shrimp fajitas. This is one of the most easiest, yummiest go-to meals that we make as a family. The first thing I'm gonna do is slice up those peppers, and then I'm going to do the same thing with my onion. Add your peppers and onions to your baking sheet. Drizzle some olive oil on top and sprinkle with some black ground pepper. Toss that all together. Then add your shrimp and separate as much as you can on your baking sheet. Sprinkle your fajita seasoning mix all over. Give that a good toss together. I guess the temperature on this, I roasted this all up at 375 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. I just kept my eye on everything, and then bam, you have fajitas. So good. Our family are huge snackers. These sheet pan snack recipes are easy to whip up and super satisfying. This recipe is called loaded chicken tots. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is put some parchment paper down. Okay, you're going to cook your tater tots as the instructions on your bag says. So my oven is heated at 425 and we're gonna get the tater tots started first. Next, we're gonna make the mixture that's going on top of the tater tots. We're gonna open up our can of diced green chilies and we're gonna drain this. Okay, we're gonna add that to our bowl. So the recipe calls for vegetable oil, but ooh. So I'm gonna use some avocado oil. I'm gonna put it says 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, so maybe 1.5 of the avocado oil. I don't know. Then you're gonna need 2 tablespoons of water. Then grab chicken taco seasoning packet and put that in there. Get that all combined. 2 cups of your shredded chicken. You could use white meat, dark meat, whatever. Mix that all together. Now let's go grab our tater tots. We're gonna use this whole bag of the Mexican style cheese because it's 2 cups and we need 2 cups. Okay, we're gonna sprinkle these with the cheese on top. This right here would not only make a good after school snack, but a lunch as well. And we're gonna get this chicken mixture on there and just spread it on as evenly as you can. All right, top with your remaining cheese, and then we're gonna get it back in the oven, and my oven is at 425. And then we're gonna put this back in the oven and let it cook for 7 to 9 minutes longer or until the cheese is melted. While that is happening, we're gonna take our tomatoes and we're gonna dice them up because we're gonna sprinkle this on top with the cilantro. Ooh, yum. I love cilantro. I know a lot of people don't like it or it tastes like soap to them. I guess there's like something in our genes that either we like it or it tastes like soap. My mom and dad think it tastes like soap. I got the good gene where it tastes delicious. Would you look at that? I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. You could even substitute pico de gallo instead of just tomatoes, which I think I will do next time. Ooh, and even some onions, like green onions, but if you do the pico, then you won't need to add more onions, but I think some green onions would be excellent on here as well. And some of my kids like sour cream, some don't, so we could just do a little splats of sour cream. They don't mind a little, but a lot they do not like. Look how hearty and yummy it is, delicious, and seriously, the kids flip for it. So our next recipe is Italian carrot fries. So you'll need about 3, I doubled and did 6 carrots. You're gonna need some Parmesan cheese, some flour, and some Italian salad dressing mix. So the recipe says about 3 medium carrots, but I'm gonna make a little more, so I'm gonna double this recipe. And basically you're gonna cut these into sizes like a French fry. I'm gonna add these fries to a Ziploc bag. So we're gonna get a coating on these. We're gonna add 2 teaspoons of flour in and 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese and a packet of the Italian dressing mix. All right, let's shake this all together. Have your oven preheated to 425. Okay, we're gonna line our baking sheet with some aluminum foil. Spray this with cooking spray and then add your carrots down. All right, we're gonna bake these for 10 minutes. Then we're gonna turn them and bake them for an additional 7 to 10 minutes. All right, now it's just time to give them a flip and then put them back in the oven for another 7 to 10 minutes. just until they're nice and crispy. I wish you guys can smell the house right now because these smell amazing. Oh, they kind of remind me of sweet potato fries because they have that sweetness like a sweet potato. You pair it with any dipping sauce that you like. Right now I'm using ranch. This was delicious. Now let's take the stress out of dinner time. These sheet pan dinners are packed with flavor and will have the whole family coming back for seconds. First up is the Parmesan crusted steak and potato sheet pan dinner. Preheat your oven to broil, nice and high. First, I'm going to slice off the ends of the asparagus, rinse them off, pat dry them, and we're going to cut these beautiful potatoes into quarters. If they're larger red potatoes, then cut them into eighths. In a medium bowl or on the sheet pan that has been sprayed with oil, toss together the potatoes with 2 tablespoons of the olive oil, 2 tablespoons of the Parmesan, 1 minced garlic clove, 1/2 teaspoon of cracked pepper, and salt to taste with the parsley. Toss well, spread the potatoes evenly on the sheet pan, and broil for 6 to 8 minutes, or until they're just lightly brown. While the potatoes are cooking, spread 1 tablespoon olive oil on both sides of the steak and salt as desired. You'll need 1 1/2 pound of flank steak. Spread 2 garlic cloves, the rest of the pepper. Sprinkle 2 tablespoons of Parmesan onto the steak as well. When the potatoes are ready, push them to the side and place the steak next to them. Add your asparagus and sprinkle them with a drizzle of olive oil, about 1/2 tablespoon. The rest of the Parmesan cheese, 1 garlic clove minced, and the sea salt and pepper to taste. Place the pan back into the oven and broil each side 4 to 6 minutes. Remove the pan from the oven and allow to rest for 5 to 10 minutes. This should be cooked to about medium, but we really love medium rare in our home. If your steak is thick, feel free to wait until you flip the steak to add the asparagus, so not to overcook it, which is super smart. I would say that I ended up overcooking my asparagus just a little, but it was still delicious and we gobbled it up. You could cook this on a broiler pan and put all the ingredients on a rack on the top of the sheet pan if you don't want the steak cooking in any of the extra juices. And here you have it, Parmesan crusted steak and potato sheet pan dinner. This was amazing. Everyone gobbled it up. I whipped up a sheet pan full of veggies and chicken drumsticks. So I looked inside my refrigerator and I just started grabbing things. I grabbed some red onion, some zucchini, green peppers, diced up some potatoes, and carrots. And then hit it with a bunch of seasonings. We had rosemary, thyme, tarragon, salt, pepper. I don't know, I just grabbed a whole bunch of seasonings and dumped them in with a little bit of olive oil. Gave that a good coating and a good stir. Then I went ahead and dumped it on my sheet pan. I layered the drumsticks on top of the vegetables, and then I drizzled just a little bit of extra virgin olive oil on the chicken so that it can brown up really good. And then I hit it with a bunch of seasonings. I used salt, pepper, Mrs. Dash garlic and herb, and poultry seasoning. I had the oven on for 475 degrees and cooked it for about 45 to 60 minutes. I just checked on the temperature of the chicken. The kids loved it. It was a hit for sure. And Oma, Derek. Next, we're gonna make a honey garlic chicken thigh with carrots and broccoli. I'm working with 8 bone-in, skin-on chicken thighs. We're gonna start on the sauce, and we're gonna whisk together a 1/3 cup honey, either soy sauce or tamari. So you're gonna need about 1 1/2 tablespoons. A tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and then you'll need 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. We're also going to need 4 cloves garlic minced. Whisk this. It's going to marinate in with about 1/4 cup of the mixture we made. So this can refrigerate for 30 minutes or up to 2 hours. And we're going to massage this in. And then with this mixture, just set it aside because we're going to use it again. We are going to work with 4 pounds of broccoli florets, a pound of small carrots sliced. But I'm just going to toss them in some olive oil. I'm also going to toss the broccoli with another tablespoon of olive oil. So to my big pan, this time I'm adding aluminum foil. And you're gonna have your oven preheated to 400 degrees. We're gonna coat this with some cooking spray. And then we're gonna take our chicken and layer it onto the cookie sheet. We are going to bake the chicken and the carrots for 15 minutes in a 400 degree oven first. When it's been 15 minutes, we're going to add the broccoli, some salt and pepper. And we're gonna bake until the vegetables are tender. You're gonna check the chicken with the thermometer. Then we're going to make sure it's registered at 165 degrees. And this will cook for about another 15 to 18 minutes and we'll check on it. To this little bowl, I'm gonna add a teaspoon of cornstarch and a teaspoon of water. I'm just whisking up this. In my pan, I'm gonna add the rest of the marinade, and then we're gonna add the cornstarch. We're gonna simmer this for a bit and then let it thicken, and then we're gonna pour it over the chicken when it comes out of the oven. So my chicken is done. I'm gonna take this out of the oven. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now that the sauce is done, we're gonna drizzle this over our chicken and vegetables. Oh, dinner is done. This would even work if you wanted to steam up some rice and add that on top of it. That would be very yummy. But you guys, the flavor on this is seriously so good. We're gonna make crispy Parmesan baked chicken with veggies. Preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and lightly grease your baking sheet. Set that aside. In a large bowl, we're gonna whisk together the eggs, the lemon juice, the 2 teaspoons of garlic, parsley, salt, and pepper. Then we're gonna dip that chicken into the egg mixture and cover it and allow it to marinate in the refrigerator up to 30 minutes to an hour. In another bowl, we're gonna combine the breadcrumbs and the Parmesan cheese. Dredge the egg-coated chicken in the breadcrumb Parmesan mixture and lightly press to evenly coat. Place the chicken onto the baking sheet and arrange the potatoes around the chicken in a single layer. Then we're going to mix together the butter, the 2 teaspoons of garlic, and salt to taste, and pour half of the butter mixture over the potatoes. And then we'll bake for 15 minutes. We'll remove the baking tray from the oven and carefully flip each chicken breast. Move the potatoes to one side and place the green beans around the chicken on the other side of the baking sheet. Pour over the remaining garlic butter and return to the oven to broil or grill on medium-high heat until the chicken is golden and crisp and the potatoes are cooked through. This is delicious and it is always a hit in our home. We're gonna make a shrimp boil sheet pan dinner. I'm just eyeballing the main ingredients for what I know how much my family will eat. 2 pounds of raw shrimp. I am going to take the tails off before I put them on the sheet pan. I have some cooked uncured Polish sausage. And then we have some little new potatoes with some corn on the cob. We're gonna cut these. And then some unsalted butter, some garlic, and then we have some Old Bay seasoning. And then you can hit it with fresh parsley at the end. I don't have any, I'm just gonna use some dried parsley. So I'm whisking up the butter, the garlic, and the Old Bay seasoning together and pouring that all over the potatoes, the shrimp, and the corn. Toss that all together. And we're gonna bake this in a 400-degree oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. You can garnish this with parsley and some lemon wedges. This is one of our favorite meals. It is absolutely delicious and I know you're gonna love it. Now let's end things on a sweet note. It's time to make some cherry pie bars. And this is going to make about 10 to 12 servings. Okay, in a mixing bowl, we're gonna beat together the butter, the sugar, until it's creamy. Okay, next we're gonna add the eggs. We're gonna add them one at a time, and we're gonna beat these. Then we're gonna add a half a teaspoon of the almond and the vanilla. We're gonna add a half a teaspoon of salt and then a cup and a half of flour. Combine this very well. That is done. All right, I'm gonna use this baking sheet, and this is a 12 by 8.5. I'm gonna spray my pan. Then we're gonna put a cup and a half of the batter at the bottom and save the rest that we're gonna put on top. Okay, we're gonna spread the pie filling down on it. We're gonna take the rest of the batter and just not spread it on, but just kind of place it on, if that makes sense. All right, that's as good as it's gonna get. And we're gonna put this in the oven at 350 degrees. My recipe says 40 to 50 minutes, but I don't know if that's the whole processing time. So we'll keep an eye on it. We are going to make the glaze for on top. We're gonna need a half a cup of sifted powdered sugar. So I have this weird thing here. Sifted. I do have a bigger sifting machine. It's like, do I really wanna take that out? All right, I'll do what they say. So I have my sifter, and we need a 1/2 cup of sifted powdered sugar. It's like Christmas. It's kind of fun to watch. Can you see that? We're gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla and 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract and 1 tablespoon of milk. All right, we're gonna whisk this together. Ooh, look at that glaze. Nice. Smells good too. And then I'm just going to, with my whisk, just put little bits throughout it. I think I'm gonna like this more than just cherry pie, because a piece of cherry pie, that's a lot for me. But this, just getting a little square of this, I think I'm gonna like better. Look how beautiful. So pretty. Look how good and clean it comes off the cookie sheet. Oh my goodness. We gotta taste this. Oh wow. All right, that is amazing. The almond in that glaze really adds something to this. Perfect. This is gonna be great for the holidays. It'll be just as yummy during the summer. So good. Give it a try. If you love these sheet pan dinners, then you'll definitely want to check out my video on how I saved $400 on my groceries for even more ways to save in the kitchen. Or if you're looking for more easy dinner ideas, watch my must-try weeknight dinners for busy families. Click on either video and I'll meet you over there. We'll see you later. Bye.